What's up, guys? This is your buddy Big Money for Eternity, and I am back with another video. This video that I'm going to do today was actually a video that I was going to do yesterday, but I could not do it yesterday because we lost electricity yesterday for about 9 hours, so I was not able to do it yesterday. So I apologize for this video being a day late, but I wanted to let you guys know what happened as to why I wasn't able to get it out till now. So I'm back now, and I'm going to get this out to you guys now. So without further ado, here we go. This video I'm going to share with you today is a story that actually happened. It happened maybe between 10 and 15 years ago, I would say. But it's a day that I hope I never have to go through again, because it was really, really scary. So without further ado, here we go. This particular incident took place when we lived in Colorado. It was they started off like any other day in our household does, or did. My mom and dad and I got up. They were getting ready for work. I was taking college classes at the community college out there at the time, but on this particular day, I had the day off, so I didn't have to go to school. I was watching TV while I was eating my breakfast with my mom and dad, and we were watching the news. And the weatherman came on and mentioned, when he was doing his morning weather report, and mentioned that we may have thunderstorms that day, and that some of them may reach severe limits. Well, we didn't really think much of it, because usually the storms that we got out there were the storms that would just go right by us and affect other people. We could watch them go by, and everything would be fine. So we didn't think anything of it. So my mom and dad, they finish their breakfast, they get ready to go to work. We say our goodbyes, and mom and dad head out the door. I lock the door and go about my day. So I go in my room and I turn on the TV, watch TV until they come in for break. So they came home for break. Everything was cool. Sun was still out. It was quiet. They came home for break, ate a snack, and went back to work. Well, then by lunchtime, they came home for lunch. And by that time, the sky was a little bit cloudy, but nothing, just kind of overcast, like the days where you get the bleh, but nothing to worry about. Well, then after lunch, I would say around 1 o'clock, it cleared off again. We got sun back. And usually, now as many of you know that watch the weather a lot like I do, sunshine, when you're expecting storms that day, is usually not a good thing, because what that does is that heats up the atmosphere, and it creates what they call lift. And what that means is any clouds that form, if they get under that lift, that causes thunderheads to form, and that's where you get the thunderstorms, and that's where you get the thunderstorms from. So I had known about that for some time, and I'm thinking, oh great, we're going to get something. But I thought it was just going to be like those storms that pop up, they come, they rain themselves out, and they're done. So I thought, well, okay, we're going to get a storm. So I waited. So my mom and dad go home, or go back to work from lunch. And then, I go about my day again. Well, I went out to go around 2 o'clock. I went to go out to the kitchen to get a drink because I was thirsty. And I noticed that it was starting to get dark. And I thought, what the heck? So I go and I look out the window. And as soon as I get to the window, the wind started to get up. And I thought, it's probably just, wind coming from the storm, no big deal. So I look off to my left, it's overcast, whatever. And then I look off to my right. Now, up the hill from where we live was our neighbor's house. And it was a guy that my mom and dad knew that worked with him. His house was up on the hill. Now, guys, this is where it gets scary, okay? So, batten down the hatches and get ready. I look up the hill from our house where our neighbor's house is. Soon as I look up there, I no sooner look up there and I see this. I see a cloud doing this. Now, what I'm about to share with you guys is something that I have not even told my parents. Okay? My parents don't even know about this. I suffer from a phobia called Lilapsophobia, and I will link it down in the description box below for you guys to check out. It is a phobia of tornadoes and hurricanes, and I'm afraid of both. Let me see, I'll pull this up. Some of the phobia symptoms, the symptoms that I have are more mental than physical. So my symptoms of the phobia, if I can get it to cooperate here, my symptoms of the phobia that I have, and I have at least a few of these, I have obsessive thoughts, difficulty thinking, feeling of unreality or being, I don't have that one. The feeling of unreality or being detached, I don't have that one. But fear of losing control or going crazy, I have that one. I have anticipatory anxiety, I have terror, and I have desire to flee or hide. So that out of all those symptoms, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 of those 7 symptoms. And I know this because I experienced every one of those symptoms that I mentioned that I have. And I went into straight up panic mode, okay? So when I saw this, I tried to gather up all the dogs that were in the house that day. We had 4 of them in the house. And they were not cooperating. They were going all over the place. I was trying to get them in my room because I have a closet, and I had a closet in that room that was big enough for me and the dogs to hide in. Well, I finally get them to follow me to my bedroom. As soon as I get to the bedroom door, I go, "Come on, guys," and they bail. They go the other way and they bail. So I go back out after them again, which was probably a mistake. And it was. I went after him again, and I looked out the window, and I watched. I don't know how close we were to this thing, but I watched that cloud go by us, and it thankfully it missed our neighbors and our house. We had no damage; everything was fine. But I watched that storm go past our house and all the way out to where it went. Thankfully, that time, it wasn't a tornado. But just the thought of just seeing that cloud do this sent me into a panic. And that's when I discovered that I had the Lilapsophobia. And again, I'll link it down below for you guys to check out. I went after the storm passed. It was about 3 hours after, and we didn't have any more storms that day, thankfully. My mom came home. My mom and dad came in, and I told them what happened. And I told them about my episode, and they thought that I was just being crazy or whatever. They don't understand that I actually have this phobia. And another instance that that I remember having where I felt this way. We were at my grandmother's house here in Maryland because we had just moved back. And my cousin and I were at her house, and I think we were by ourselves that day because my grandmother had gone somewhere and she was out for a while. And we were under a tornado watch, so we had the weather on. And because I requested it, because I was in panic mode. And then we live in Cecil County, Maryland. That's up in the northeast corner of the state. Actually, we were watching a show, and then the weather broke in and said, "Folks, we want to break in to tell you that we have a tornado warning for Cecil County, Maryland." As soon as I heard that, bam, fear kicks in. I said, "Jesse," my cousin's name is Jesse. I said, "Jesse, we need to get downstairs, and we need to get downstairs now." He says, "Mike, it probably won't even hit us." I said, "Jesse, do this for me, please." So we went downstairs. We were going to go downstairs to go to the basement, and then my grandmother's phone rang. So I answered it, and it was our neighbor, because it was where her house was, where we were, and then next to her house was our neighbor, and then up the street from her was my house. So I was like 2 houses up from my grandmother's house. So she wanted to know, our neighbor wanted to know if she could bring her, if she and her kids could come over and take shelter in the basement with us. I said, "Yeah, come on over," because I didn't want them to get hurt, because they didn't have a basement. So they came over. We all got down in the basement, and I no sooner heard the first clap of thunder, and I lost it. I went completely insane. I lost my cool. I started to cry. I started to shake. I just went completely nuts. And my cousin, our neighbor, and her kids were all trying to calm me down. And no matter what they did, I couldn't get calm. And that's how I knew that I had at least some of the symptoms of this phobia. Because I couldn't get control of myself. So I stayed that way for the entire time that the storm hit. And that was probably all of 20 minutes. And I did not calm down until the sun came back out. And then once the sun came back out, I calmed down and I was fine. And even as I'm telling you guys this, I'm getting kind of short of breath, so I'm trying to get through it. So bear with me. But this is a phobia that makes my fear of spiders look like I'm not afraid of anything. I mean, I hate this phobia, and I don't know what to do to get help for it. I've looked online, and I don't know what to do. I've had this phobia now for at least 10 to 15 years. And it's just a phobia that cripples you. And it just makes you lose all control of yourself. And it's something that until I experienced it, I didn't even know there was such a thing as this phobia. I mean, and I don't just have, like I said, I don't just have it for when tornadoes are possible. I have it when there's a hurricane on the way, because that's part of it. That's fear of tornadoes and hurricanes. So I panicked when Superstorm Sandy hit. I requested to stay at my aunt's that day, and I didn't leave her house until it was over. And it just, because at my aunt's house, when you go over there, you can go in her house and you can't hear anything because it's just so tightly insulated. You can't hear anything. And I did when I was there, I didn't even know the wind was blowing. That's how insulated her house is. And but this is a fear that just you don't understand it until you experience it. And guys, I swear I am being 100% truthful telling you this story. And I wouldn't tell you guys this if I didn't have it. And I will tell you that if you know somebody in your family that shows signs of panic or whatever, like all the symptoms that I mentioned that I have, the worst thing you can do to that person is, if they have the weather on TV, if they have the weather turned on TV, the worst thing you can do to that person is tell them to turn the channel. Because I remember the time that I had that phobia, and my mother came in the room and she told me to put the TV on something else. And when she did that, bam, panic hit again. And I freaked out. So I went to my room and turned on the weather, and I kept it on all night. Because I kept it on all night because we were having, the watch went into the wee hours of the morning that time. And it just, I don't know, I cannot seem to get rid of this phobia. And I just wish I could, and I don't know what to do to get rid of it. But if you know somebody that has it, the best thing you can do for them is, if they have the weather turned on television, look at the map with them. Show them where the storms are. And if they're moving in a direction that's away from your area, and you know for a fact that you're not going to get them, show them in relation to the storms where your location is on the map. And show them that the storms are moving away and won't come toward them to hurt them. And if the storms are coming to your area and this person starts to panic, just reassure them as well as you can that you will not let anything happen to them, and you will not leave them if something were to happen. That you'll get them to safety and everything will be fine. Just be sure to help that person, because this is a very real phobia, and it's really, like I said, I live with it, and it's a really hard phobia to get through. And I would not wish this phobia on anybody, because it is a very, 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 very it wears you out. It literally will wear you out. And like I said, I wish I didn't have it myself. And for the people who do have it, I'm sorry that they have it. I feel bad for them, because I know what it's like to have it. If you know anybody that has it, do what you can to help them. Find somebody, find a physician in your area that might be able to help them. Maybe take them to psychiatry. I don't know if that helps, but try it. Or ask your doctor what can be done if he knows anything about phobias, and ask your doctor if they know anything that can be done to help treat them. Because, this is a phobia that is very real. And it's something that, you need to help the person who has it get through. And I just want anybody out there to know that if they know somebody who has it, don't make fun of them. Don't tell them to do something they don't want to do. If they don't want to turn that television off or turn the channel from the weather, don't make them do it. Because if you do that, you're only making the fear worse. So, just do what you can to help them out, and be supportive, be reassuring, because that's what they need to help get them through it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna close here because I have gone way longer than I thought I would. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, there's that subscribe button down below you can hit. If you want to share my videos on social media with your friends or family or whatever, you're more than welcome to, because that's what they're there for. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. You can share them with anybody you want to. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I apologize again for this being a day late. But with the power outage, I couldn't make the video yesterday, so I wasn't able to do it. So I thank you guys for your patience. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.